Imagine a man, no army, no state tradition, no millions of soldiers, and yet his name kept sultans awake at night. Imagine a fortress, above the clouds, unreachable, unconquerable, and a single command, kill. Not on the battlefield, not where armies collide, only a dagger and a belief. Seljuk viziers trembled, caliphs feared him, crusaders whispered his name in hushed tones. Who was he? A man of religion? A revolutionary? Or the founder of history's first organized network of political assassination? This is the story of Hasan Sabbah. The Islamic world of the 11th century, on the surface, powerful empires stood tall, but beneath sectarian conflicts, political intrigue, and struggles for power were boiling. The great Seljuk Empire had risen in the east, placing the Abbasid Caliph in Baghdad under its protection. The Sunni world was secured by the sword of the Seljuks. But in the south, the Fatimid Caliphate, ruling from Cairo, put forward a rival claim. The true caliphate belongs to us. This was not merely a sectarian divide. It was a battle for political legitimacy. It was in this atmosphere that Hasan Sabbah was born in the city of Qom in Iran. And from an early age, he showed he was anything but ordinary. According to historical sources, he received his education in the city of Rai during his youth. He mastered logic, mathematics, theology, and philosophy. Yet what fascinated him most was this: to rule people not by the sword, but by ideas. The turning point in young Hasan's life came when he encountered Ismaili missionaries. Their doctrine whispered a powerful message. True knowledge is not limited to what is visible. That idea ignited a revolution in his mind. He traveled to Egypt, to Cairo. There, he received training within the circles of the Fatimid court. But palace intrigues, succession disputes, and internal power struggles left him disillusioned. He had come to understand something crucial. To hold power at the center is difficult, but to organize at the margins can be deadly. When Hasan Sabbah returned to Iran, he was no longer merely a missionary. He was a master strategist, and his objective was clear: to instill fear in the very heart of the state. Hasan Sabbah's greatest genius was winning wars without fighting them. In 1090, he seized Alamut Castle, perched atop the steep cliffs of northern Iran. This was not a siege, it was an infiltration. Through months of propaganda, covert organization, and the support of the local population, the fortress was brought under control with almost no bloodshed. Alamut was no longer merely a castle. It became an academy, an intelligence center, an ideological training ground. There, Hasan established absolute discipline. Luxury was forbidden. Mistakes were unforgivable. Loyalty was unquestioned. It was here that the Fida'i were trained. He did not teach them only how to wield a dagger, but how to wait, how to endure, and how to strike at the perfect moment. And then it began. Some of the most sophisticated assassination operations in history. One of his greatest blows, Nizam al-Mulk, the Seljuk vizier, the brain of the state, the architect of its politics, was killed in 1092 by a Fida'i. This was not merely an assassination. It was a symbolic strike at the heart of an empire. Afterward, Seljuk emirs, commanders, and even some crusader leaders were targeted. During the reign of Malik Shah, unrest within the palace intensified. Hasan's strategy was clear. To raise a great army against a great army is suicide, but to eliminate leaders collapses the system. His Fida'i did not flee. Most were killed after completing their missions, and that only fueled the legend. In the West, they became known as the Hashashin. Over time, the word evolved into assassin. Did they truly use hashish, or was it enemy propaganda? Historians still debate, but one thing is certain: Hasan Sabbah had mastered the mathematics of fear. The death of one man equals the collapse of morale among thousands. And that equation weakened empires from within. When Hasan Sabbah died in 1124 at Alamut, he had not left the fortress for 34 years. For a leader, this was extraordinary. He did not tour palaces. He did not lead conquest campaigns. He did not claim a throne. Yet states trembled at his name. After his death, the Nizari Ismailis endured. The Alamut system continued until the Mongol invasion. In 1256, Hulagu Khan destroyed the fortress. But the ideas were not destroyed. Today, the spiritual leadership of the Nizari Ismailis is represented by Aga Khan IV. Hasan Sabbah's legacy lives on in three fundamental principles: the power of psychological warfare, a cellular organizational model against centralized authority, the idea that ideology can outlive military strength. Was he a terrorist, a revolutionary, a defender of faith? History answers according to perspective. But one fact cannot be denied: Hasan Sabbah changed the history of warfare. He built power without an army. He created influence without a throne. He constructed limitless fear. And perhaps most importantly, he proved this: the highest fortresses are built not with stone, but with belief. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below who you want next.